Greetings and welcome to another Technical College Systems of Georgia Office of Workforce Development Training. My name is Deneen Woodson and I will be facilitating today. We will introduce guest speakers who will provide some valuable first-hand information on our core Title WIOA programs. Welcome core partner participants. We believe that you all will walk away with a better understanding of WIOA services in general and be provided with tools on how to begin making connections needed to better serve your participants. Due to the length of this training and the number of attendees, we will have a live Q&A, but please ask your questions in the chat. When you began in your current position, your manager or team taught you about your individual job responsibilities and duties. They may have also even spoken lightly about about WIOA in general. WIOA stands for Work Innovation and Opportunity Act. Today we will be stepping back and taking a look at its services from a broader perspective. WIOA is vast and is designed to effectively serve adults, dislocated workers, and youth. But the good news is you don't have to do it on your own. Our title partners and others can help. Let's see who they are and how this system is designed to work. Today we will discuss WIOA title programs, goals, and objectives. Then introduce Titles 1, 2, 3, and 4's benefits and services. You will hear directly from each title program staff, and at the end of this training, we will provide some follow-up information and resources. This training is designed to introduce you to all four title services, but we are hoping that you and your teams will continue the discussion offline and begin pursuing more structured relationships and collaborations with your local and community partners. So let's get started. Those of you who have been around for a while probably remember the WIA or WIA Act in 1998. Well, with that same goal in mind, WIOA updated the Act 10 years ago in 2014. It requires that partnerships at the state and local level of multiple agencies and grants promote and coordinate service delivery. The ultimate goal of the new legislations are to increase access and opportunities, promote stronger alignment of human service systems, and enhance and increase services to strategic populations or those with obvious multiple barriers. Ultimately, the WIOA's overarching desire is to build a strong and robust workforce for the state of Georgia and the nation. Did you know that currently Georgia is the #1 state in the nation to do business? That's because of the services that you are providing. So let's take a look at 4 of the 5 titles. Because Title III recently moved from the Department of Labor, 3 of the 4 titles are housed under TCSG. TCSG stands for, again, the Technical College Systems of Georgia. As you can see, TCSG, among other important responsibilities, oversees the first 3 titles in the state of Georgia. You will find a wealth of work-related information and resources for participants and businesses alike on their website. GVRA provides many of the same services as the other titles. However, GVRA's services are provided for individuals with verifiable disabilities. For your information, the 5th WIO title is a general provision. WIOA does not intend for an individual agency to meet the comprehensive needs of its participants. As stated before, WIOA requires the partnership of multiple agencies. When programs work together, participants, number 1, receive increased support and a wider range of services known as wraparound services. Wraparound is exactly what it sounds like. It is designed to assist the participant using case management coordination to ensure that services are strength-based and needs-driven. When programs work together, participants should have better outcomes or employment success, thereby improving your program's outcomes. We all know that in order for your agency to be considered successful, participants must obtain and maintain employment. Outcomes matter. Number three, working together lessens the financial burden on individual entities. And number four, programs working together lessen the stress on the individual and allows them to have a more positive experience. So let's learn about the first title, TCSG's Office of Workforce Development. Most of you are familiar with OWD, but for our other title friends, let me introduce you to the basics. Although the people, players, and titles may be different, OWD is in existence and is driven to connect talent with opportunity. But you may ask, where does that begin for any job seeker? Any individual seeking employment can visit one of the statewide OWD locations. Then you may ask, what category of people do you serve? I have that answer for you too. Individuals seeking Title I services must fall into these four specific categories, which entail their own eligibility criteria. For example, you can see that there are age, work authorization, and selective service requirements for adults and dislocated worker categories. But under adult services, priority of service is not an eligibility criterion, but rather a means to provide services earlier in time to those who belong to certain priority groups with higher needs. See some of those examples below. Under the dislocated worker category, individuals must have been separated from employment through no fault of their own and must meet the defined standards of being unlikely to return to that job or industry. Youth have specific criteria beginning at age 14 for youth still in school and 16 for those who are no longer attending secondary education. All youth are required to have barriers to employment, and those barriers for youth have specific criteria, of which a few are listed below. Please be reminded that specific information on eligibility criteria can be obtained from your local workforce development area and contact us by email that will be shared with you at the end of this training. So, what are the types of services that are provided for youth? WIOA specifies 14 youth elements that must be made available to eligible youth. While all 14 of these youth elements must be made available, they do not all have to be funded through OWD's youth funds. Here's another great opportunity to leverage partner resources. For example, students may participate in a work experience and earn wages through Title I, but also receive English language learner classes from Title II while receiving parenting classes and support from a community program. Again, the possibilities are endless and have the potential to benefit your agency and our mutual participants. Remember, everyone working together to provide those wraparound services is a win-win for the participant and your local area. Where do you see the opportunity for your agency to partner with a different title program? Let's move on and talk about the services that are available through the Office of Workforce Development. Almost any working age individual is eligible for some type of assistance from OWD. Here are the category of services. Basic career services can be self-directed or non-staff assisted. They can range from using the internet at the local area to create a resume, all the way up to determining eligibility for intensive services. However, individualized career and training services require eligibility determination, whereas training services are typically more intensive and can take longer, but also require suitability determinations. Many job seekers need additional or supportive services like assistance with food, housing, transportation, and the like. Supportive services are critical to an individual's success. If a participant obtains employment but has diminished access to reliable transportation, there is a high probability that his success will be limited. Supportive services should be planned to address these dilemmas. However, supportive services must be reasonable and necessary. For example, OWD will not purchase a vehicle. We all know that there is a difference between a want and a need. Explore options with the participant. Maybe this is another opportunity when a partner agency can step in to assist. Also remember, in order to be eligible for supportive services, a participant must be participating in an individualized career or training services. They also must not be able to obtain supportive services through other programs and must comply with program rules. Because supportive services can be complex, coordinating with other community and core partners provides flexibility and is a great opportunity to maximize resources or braid funds. For example, while OWD may be able to sponsor training, GVRA may be able to provide reasonable accommodations for an individual with a disability who needs self-advocacy training or a hearing aid. So, where can a person apply for OWD services? Although Title I services are offered throughout the state and all local workforce development areas have the same eligibility criteria, each area's service delivery model may vary. So contact your local OWD office for more information. Next, we will hear from our WIOA Title II Adult Education and Family Literacy Partner, Rebecca Ellis.
Hi everyone, my name is Rebecca Ellis and I'm the Director of Policy and External Partnerships in the Office of Adult Education at TCSG. And I wanted to take a little bit of time today to share some information about adult education and the services that we offer in the state of Georgia. So a few things to know about adult education just to provide some kind of larger context. We receive funding under the Workforce Innovation and Opportunity Act, and that's Title II. So when you hear people say Title II, that talks about adult education and family literacy services. We receive those Title II funds at the Technical College System of Georgia, and then our office grants them out to providers throughout the state. So one important thing to know about adult education is that even though we are housed at the Technical College System of Georgia, we also offer adult education services through other types of organizations such as school districts and community-based organizations throughout the state. The primary goal of adult education is to provide students with the education and skills they need to advance to post-secondary education or career, with the ultimate goal of making sure that they're able to earn a family-sustaining wage. And I'll talk a little bit more about some of the services we offer in a second, but I want to also just emphasize that we provide more than just kind of GED testing or GED prep. We also serve students who are looking to learn English. We offer some family literacy programs, so we provide a wide variety of services to help individuals meet that goal of advancing to post-secondary education or career. I wanted to touch next on the eligibility requirements for adult education. Obviously, one of the most important things to consider when you're considering co-enrolling a student is making sure that they're eligible for services. So there are a few ways that someone can be eligible for adult education. The first thing is that all individuals must be 16 years of age or older and not enrolled in secondary school or high school. As long as they meet that age criteria and one of the three categories I'm about to talk about, they're eligible. So the first category is that someone needs to not have a high school diploma or equivalency. So this would be someone who comes in, they have not graduated from high school, and they're looking to get that high school credential. We also serve some students that may have a high school diploma, but we consider them basic skills deficient. And that is determined based on a score on the test of adult basic education. The third category is that they're an English language learner. So this would be any individual who's 16 but is looking to learn English. We serve a large number of ESL students in our programs. Many of them have degrees in their native countries, but they're coming to us to help get those English skills they may need to obtain the job that they want in the United States. I'll talk a little bit more about the services we offer. So we do offer GED and HiSET test preparation courses. So if someone's wanting to get that GED or HiSET, that high school equivalency, or a high school diploma, we have a Career Plus program, which I'll talk about in a second. They're able to enroll in those courses. Again, we offer English language classes, and in combination with that, some programs also offer civics education classes. We do offer workplace literacy, and if you're wondering what that is, that would be a partnership between a local employer and adult education program. So for example, there might be a manufacturing company in the area that wants a large number of employees to get their GED. They would create an MOU with that adult education program to provide those services. So that would be, individuals who are already employed, but they're looking to kind of get that upskilling or get an additional level of education, and the adult education program would provide that. Once students are enrolled, we also offer several services that allow them or help them to prepare for those careers. So one that you may have heard of is integrated education and training. And that is an educational model where students combine the adult education they need with some workplace preparation and training that helps them earn a credential for a industry recognized credential. So we offer IETs throughout the state. This is also an area where we heavily partner with our other WIOA partners. We, don't have a lot of funds for training, so oftentimes students would be getting that individual training account, or they'd be able to take kind of those courses through that training through another WIOA core partner. And we also offer some career services for adult education students that are already enrolled. A few things to note about our services: they are provided at no cost to the student, so they do not have to pay for any of our services. We do have very flexible course schedules. We know that adult education students have lives outside of adult education, so we offer in-person and online courses, or students can take a combination of both. We offer morning classes, classes during the day, as well as evening classes, to really accommodate all types of learners and make sure that they have access to the program. And then adult education programs are offered in every county in the state of Georgia. So regardless of where someone lives, they should be able to find an adult education program that can meet their needs. So next I want to talk about how a student can co-enroll in adult education. So if someone walks into a one-stop and meets those eligibility requirements, or kind of expresses interest in earning their high school equivalency or diploma, they can locate the nearest adult education program to them. I put that QR code there. That actually provides information about all of our adult education programs in the state and the counties they serve. They'd contact that local program, or you could help them contact that local program to get information about enrollment. Enrollment in adult education is fairly simple. There's a short intake form. There's some documentation like a driver's license, or for underage students, they might need to show some additional documentation. And then they would take an entry test, and that determines class placement. So there is a few hours that they might need to be taking that test, but again, that's just to make sure that they're placed in the right courses for them. And the timing of enrollment varies based on the local provider. So again, that's why you'd want to make sure that you're connecting that student with the program in their area. There's also a couple of other really important things to know about adult education. So the first is that in Georgia, we actually have 3 pathways for a student to obtain a high school equivalency or diploma. So it's not just the GED. That is one of the test-based options students can take that GED. We also now offer the HiSET, which is another test-based option. It has 5 sections instead of 4, but some students may prefer to take that HiSET exam. And then the last program that we offer is the Career Plus High School Diploma program. Currently, that program is only available at 8 of our technical colleges, but this is an opportunity for students. It's a non-test-based option where they combine previously earned high school credits or past portions of the GED or HiSET with PCCs, or kind of post-secondary education, and in the end they graduate with that high school diploma as well as industry recognized credentials. So it's really designed to equip students to enter directly into the workforce. The second important thing to note is that we do have a Hope High School equivalency scholarship. So for anybody that doesn't have, the funds available to take the GED or HiSET, this Hope High School equivalency scholarship can cover the cost of that exam. There's information available at that QR code. We're also happy to provide some additional information if you're interested in learning more about the Hope High School equivalency scholarship. And then the last thing I want to point out, and I think it's important to note, is that in Georgia, if someone's interested in getting their GED or HiSET and they feel that they need that kind of preparation, they want to take some prep classes or they need kind of additional skills, adult education can provide those courses. However, students can take the GED or HiSET without enrolling in an adult education program. They would just need to find a testing center near them and sign up. So if someone is interested in taking that test and you're helping them talk through that process and they think they're ready to go, they've studied on their own, or they don't feel like they need the classes, they can absolutely test without them. We serve everyone at our testing centers. So that is the most important information about Title II of the Adult Education and Family Literacy Act. And if you have any other questions, we are more than happy to answer them, and we hope that you're able to co-enroll some students.
Thank you, Rebecca. We will now hear from one of our Title III directors, Rhonda Wade.
So far, we've heard all these great benefits of co-enrollment, as well as how your customers may benefit from being co-enrolled in various programs. Wagner-Pizer is one of those programs. Hi, I'm Rhonda Wade, and I am the Director of Policy Training and Compliance under Title III, also known as Wagner-Pizer or Employment Services. This program was created to assist job seekers in securing employment and to assist employers in finding qualified workers. This includes the establishment and the maintenance of a state labor exchange system, which is now the WorkSource Georgia portal. Since co-enrollment is all about integrated service delivery, aligning and braiding resources of participating partners, Wagner-Pizer is one of the programs that you will likely want to have job seekers or employers enroll in services. So let's talk about what is Wagner-Pizer, who is eligible, who are some of our partners, and how individuals can be co-enrolled. First, what is Wagner-Pizer? It all started with the Wagner-Pizer Act, which is a United States federal law that established a nationwide system of public employment offices known as the Employment Service. The law was later amended many times, especially by the Workforce Investment Act of 1998 and in 2014 under Title III of the Workforce Innovation and Opportunity Act, which is also known as WIOA. The law was named for its congressional sponsors, Senator Robert Wagner and Representative Theodore Pizer, which is where you get Wagner-Pizer. As part of the New Deal, President Franklin D. Roosevelt signed the act into law on June 6 of 1933. So as you can see, this program has been around for quite some time. Employment services are delivered through the American Job Center network and are designed to increase employment opportunities for all workers and meet the needs of businesses for work-ready job seekers. One of the primary goals of employment services is to ensure that job seekers and employers have universal access to basic labor exchange services. That brings us to who is eligible. The good news is that this is one of the few programs that has no eligibility criteria, as long as the individual is authorized to work in the United States. So just about anybody can access these services. Under Wagner-Pizer, there are several services that are offered. This includes job search assistance, job referrals, placement assistance for job seekers, reemployment services for unemployment insurance claimants, recruitment services for employers, and then there's the Monitor Advocate System, which we will talk about in a minute. Staff are located across the state to help job seekers with developing a resume, interviewing tips, and much more, to include offering workshops on various job search topics. Since labor exchange is the core service being offered under Wagner-Pizer, we have a team of individuals that serve local employers throughout the state of Georgia. This includes new businesses looking to open operations in Georgia, as well as businesses that are expanding operations. Business services is made up of customized recruitment, business services recruiters, and regional coordinators. Business services and the local ES staff work together to help fill employers' openings and help job seekers find employment. Jamon Williams is currently the Director of Business Services for Title III. Now, earlier I talked about the Monitor Advocate System, and so I do want to explain a little further what that is because a lot of people do not realize this falls under Wagner-Peiser. The Monitor Advocate System is a federal and state initiative designed to ensure that migrant and seasonal farm workers have equitable access to various career services, skill enhancement opportunities, and workforce protections, primarily through American Job Centers. If you are assisting a migrant and seasonal farm worker, be sure to connect them with Wagner-Peiser staff. Felipe Pacheco is currently the state monitor advocate, and he monitors the services across the state, ensuring that MSFWs are receiving services and that staff are equipped to help those job seekers. Another item I want to be sure to talk about is the Employment Services and Employment-Related Law Complaint System. If you have a job seeker who has a complaint or questions regarding employment-related activities, this includes questions or complaints related to the employment law, send them to ES staff. We are responsible for connecting those individuals to the federal agencies that have oversight, as well as determining if it is related to any positions we have posted. The link to the website is on the slide, as well as the name of the complaint system coordinator and the state monitor advocate. If it is an MSFW that has a complaint, the state monitor advocate will assist in facilitating resolution to those complaints. We also have a complaint system poster located in every office where ES staff are located. If you ever need to reference this later, you can always find the complaint system coordinator as well as the state monitor advocate's information, and we also have local complaint specialists in every office. Another program that I want to be sure to mention is the Job for Veterans State Grant, also known as JVSG. The Jobs for Veterans State Grant and Wagner-Peiser work closely together to ensure that veterans receive priority of service and that those with a significant barrier to employment are being referred to the DVOP, which is also known as the Disabled Veteran Outreach Program. Those staff and the local veteran employment representatives, also known as leavers, assist in their employment needs. This program works to assist veterans across the state with reemployment and to connect them with resources that they may need. The leaver conducts outreach to employers to develop job opportunities for veterans. If you are needing additional information on JVSG, Rosani Rios is currently the Director of Grants and Special Populations, and then Atoya Rhodes is currently the State Veteran JVSG Program Manager. Either individual could provide additional information on this program. As far as partners, the Employment Services staff partner not only with all of you, but with many of the same individuals you may partner with, to include the local business community, community-based organizations, the Georgia Department of Labor, DFACS, senior community employment programs, and much more. Individuals can access services in person, as staff are located in many of the Georgia Department of Labor offices, as well as the one-stops. They can access services via phone by calling 404-982-7985. They can also contact staff through email by emailing workforce@worksourcega.org, as well as going online to the worksourcegaportal.com, where they can get registered and begin to utilize the system as well as access services online. In addition, there are more features for job seekers, employers, and partners that are coming to access WorkSource Georgia staff. This will be coming in the future months on the WorkSource Georgia portal, so stay tuned. Now, when it comes to co-enrollment, the WorkSource Georgia portal is where to start. We are currently working on policies and procedures to streamline this process with many of our partners and to ensure that individuals are able to access services seamlessly. This will include further directions on key contacts and emails for referral. However, here is some information on what this process looks like. If a partner or the individual contacts staff, staff will ensure the job seeker gets registered. They will call the job seeker to assist. If the job seeker is already registered, staff will proceed with service delivery, which includes completing what we call a Wagner-Peiser application. The registration may take around 15 to 20 minutes to complete. If a job seeker is seeking assistance outside of self-service, staff will complete a Wagner-Peiser application and document any services provided. The Wagner-Peiser application can also take around 15 to 20 minutes to complete. As far as accessing all these services, all services may be remote, or if the customer would like to come in person, they may do so as well. At the time of the Wagner-Pizer application and/or the registration, staff will encourage job seekers to provide information to complete a resume in the system. Staff may assist with the creation of the resume and/or assist them with the upload. Either way, we want to get a resume on the system so that we can help the job seeker with matching them to jobs to not only help the job seeker, but also the employers that are seeking qualified candidates.
Thank you, Rhonda, for providing details on how individuals can access employment services. Everyone, please be reminded that as Rhonda has indicated, the only eligibility criteria for an individual to receive Wagner-Pizer employment services is that they must be qualified to work in the United States. Therefore, if an individual does not meet your program eligibility criteria, guess where you can send them for additional services, information, or support. I would like to now introduce you to our Title IV partner, Mr. Leon Allen.
Hello, everyone. My name is Leon Allen. I am the Business Relations Manager for the GVRA, which is the Georgia Vocational Rehabilitation Agency. I will be presenting to you some information about the services that we offer. It will include who we are, who is eligible for services, who do we partner with, how does an individual qualify for VR services, what services do we provide, what services are available to our high school level students, and what is our process. Who is the Georgia Vocational Rehabilitation Agency? Our vision is that every Georgian with a disability can work and live independently. The mission of the GVRA is to assist Georgians with disabilities to gain employment and independence. As we know, it's already very difficult for an individual without a barrier, without a disability, to seek employment and maintain that employment. So you can only understand how difficult it is for an individual with the barrier, with the disability, to seek and maintain employment. So, as a provider of vocational rehabilitation services in the state of Georgia, we want to make sure that we're providing our residents with all the necessary resources for them to be successful in their careers. Who is eligible for services at the Georgia Vocational Rehabilitation Agency? The GVRA can assist any individual who meets eligibility requirements with employment related services as long as they can show that they are legally able to work in the United States. The GVRA also provides services to students who are currently enrolled in high school that may not be of legal age to work. Who does the Georgia Vocational Rehabilitation Agency partner with? The GVRA partners with a variety of businesses, public and private, state agencies, and advocacy groups statewide to ensure that services are available as needed to assist our clients with achieving their employment goals. As services are unique to the individual, additional worker relationships can be developed as needed to ensure clients' needs are met. As mentioned before, the GVRA partners with a variety of businesses in an effort to create strong employment opportunities for our clients, as well as to promote the services that we can offer to the employer in the community. Some of these services include recruitment, job retention, on the job training, education and training, and also accommodation services. We also partner with other VR providers in the state of Georgia just to ensure that our clients have all the necessary resources they need to be successful in their career development. How does an individual qualify for services at the Georgia Vocational Rehabilitation Agency? If the goal of the individual is to become employed and their physical or mental disability interferes with their ability to become employed and they need VR's help to find or keep a job. What services do the Georgia Vocational Rehabilitation Agency provide? Services vary based on individual needs as it relates to specific vocational goals. Some examples of services that we provide include orientation and mobility training, specific job training, job placement, assistive technology services, vocational counseling and guidance, and post secondary training. What services are available to high school students? Services are based on the individual needs of the student. We can provide services to the student up to their 22nd birthday, and if they have an individual employment plan, 504. Some examples of our pre employment transition services for our students include job exploration counseling, workplace readiness training, post secondary education counseling, work based learning experiences, and instruction in self advocacy. We also have two learning institutes to help develop our high school level talents here in the state of Georgia, one located in Cave Springs and one located in at Roosevelt Warm Springs. What is our VR process here at the Georgia Vocational Rehabilitation Agency? Step one would be for the individual to complete the referral, and this can be done online or in person at your local VR office. After the referral has been complete, the individual will be contacted to schedule an appointment for an application. The next step would be for the individual to complete the application, but to ensure that this is done properly, the individual needs to bring all available medical or psychological documentation to the appointment. This will help expedite the process. The next step is to determine the eligibility of the individual. Once the eligibility has been determined, the next step is to create an individualized plan for employment development. Once that individualized plan for employment development has been created, the next step is service rendered, and this is based on the individual's goal and their diagnosis. The last step of the VR process is job placement, which is my team, and this case is followed for 90 days after a successful placement. Georgia Vocational Rehabilitation Agency referral and contact information. Individuals can apply for services by calling the number listed below, and they will work with you to complete a referral over the phone. That number is 844-367-4872. Individuals can also go to the link below and complete a referral online. That website link is referral.gvs.ga.gov.
Thank you, Leon. We know that this was a great deal of information. However, the goal was to introduce you to each title so that you would be aware of its function and then pursue more information to benefit your agency and participants. Here are the agency websites for future reference. We hope that this training provided you with insight into how to better work together to serve your participants. Thanks again for attending.